guys, this time the Quick Speed Shop. Check it out, we're working under the hood of the Black 80 Dodge short box. It's Amazon special day. We got Chinesium carburetors, we got Amazon radiators, we're throwing homemade fuel systems in the bed of the truck, doing heater hoses, all kinds of stuff, getting this thing dialed in. It's gonna be all brand new mechanicals except for the rusty engine, but that runs. So we got all kinds of new shiny trinkets that came in the mail to put on here and get this thing one step closer to running and driving like it should. Brand new again. You know what the name of the carburetor is? It's Thunder Mingo! Enjoy high quality. $67. How can you go wrong? We're back here working on the Black 80 Dodge truck. Last time I got all the brakes working and I said I might have had a little leak at the banjo fitting. It healed itself. It hasn't leaked in 2 days, so all the brakes are good. I might have to bleed them again with somebody eventually, but I got a good hard pedal now with it not running with the vacuum booster off. And no leaks that I see now, so I think we got brakes. So we're on to more mechanical stuff. I gotta change the radiator and the carburetor and do some other things here under the hood. I got the radiator draining. I thought it held coolant, but it's leaking at the bottom, and then when I got the cap off in here, it's super scaly and closed off tubes. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a aluminum radiator for like 180 bucks, welded aluminum radiator to put in here, and we'll use that. It'll work perfect. And I also went there and I bought a like $70 Chinesium replacement carburetor. This is one I put on here to get the truck running because it didn't have a carburetor on it when I bought it. It's a combination of like maybe a Mopar base plate with an old AMC Jeep top, like 78 BBD top on it, and it's cobbled together. It doesn't really work that good, but I ordered the original style carburetor that should have all the linkage for the 727 kickdown and all that stuff. So we're gonna put that on there. I got the radiator draining. I wasn't able to get the drain cock open, so I had to like crack the bottom of the housing, so now it's dripping out of the radiator where the coolant drain should have come out. So that's kind of like precarious. I'm letting it drain slowly. So I'm in the back here. Also, we need a fuel system since I got rid of the side saddle tank, which turned out to be cracked. And I've got this homemade tank I had in my Model A hot rod shop truck, and I made it and welded it up and sealed it. It's good, except the sealer's starting to peel on the inside a little bit, which I'm a little concerned about. And it's a bottom feed tank, which you know anything about fuel tanks, you shouldn't have bottom feed. You should always feed from the top and have a pickup off the bottom a little bit, but I didn't know what I was doing back then, and I made a bottom feed tank. And you know what? Which I could put a plug in and actually make a top feed line that would bolt into here where the sending unit goes. That's just a thought I just had, because I was about ready to drill a hole in the floor. Well, anyways, bottom feed tank, I put a ball valve on it for safety. Like most people just put a fitting out here, and if you rupture your line, it's gonna drain your whole tank and without any way to shut it off. So I added a ball valve to this tank and it sucks through there. But now, like I just said, I'm thinking about it. Do I go ahead and make a plate that fits on here because I don't need the sending unit? I'm just gonna fill it up with a jerry can. And do I make a fuel pickup? I could weld a line into a thing that would just bolt on here with a pickup pointing at the bottom. Then we could just suck out of the top of the tank and just go down. Because the other problem is the fuel tank, because of where the cross member of the bed is, I had to move it away from the front of the bed a little bit. But if I do that top mount thing, I could put it right up against the front of the truck so I can get more bed space, which I'd like to do. I just thought of that. Maybe we'll do that. I can put a pipe plug in there if I got a plug big enough to do that. I can plug that hole, and then we'll make a plate here or drill right. This is a Jeep or a Stuart Warner or something sending unit. I'll just put take this out. We'll just make a cover that goes right on there with a line coming out. Okay, I found a brass plug I had, and I used a little sealer and I put it in there. This is my fuel system I took out of there, so we'll save that. So now we can take the tank and do some fabbing, and we'll pull out of the top of it. Oh, I forgot. Oh, is the plug to, I'm going to have to drill a tiny hole in the floor to clear the plug, or else use a spacer under these brackets. I might even just put a spacer under it, pick it up. This is my vent line. I use an axle vent tube that was zip screwed into the back of my truck, the back of the box here. Just it's a vent, so the tank vents. I made that on there. This is the obviously the fuel filler. So let's go ahead and pull this guy out. I forget if this is Stuart Warner or this is a Jeep CJ7 sending unit. I can't remember. I had a Stuart Warner fuel gauge, but I want to say I had to change the unit because the ohms weren't right on the sending unit. I don't remember what happened. It did read accurately after I monkeyed around, but I don't remember what happened. I know I originally found the Stuart Warner fuel gauge in the dumpster at work. That was pretty handy. But this might have leaked some. You can see all the paint is coming off. Ooh, it's got a gasket under it though. And it's stuck. Man, the wind has been blowing like 100 miles an hour for the last couple of days. You hear it rattle on the door. It's driving me nuts. Uh-oh. Yeah, that is... Oh. Aha. Yeah, this is an old, like, Jeep or CJ7 sending unit. Check it out. Cork. It's got a cork float, but it works. That's old school. It's an old stock, I think, or something. I can't remember where I found it, but it worked good. So we'll go ahead and save on that. I butchered in this hole. Where's my spotlight? I want to look in the tank. I put the gas tank seam sealer stuff in my jig in here, and I think it's peeling a little bit. It actually doesn't look too bad right now. I thought I saw it peeling. Oh yeah, it's got a big bubble on the side. Oh yeah, it's peeling off on this side quite a bit. How does it look on that side? Oh, it's just on that one side. That's very curious. Anyways, it's another reason I want to get out of the bottom sucking fuel thing. I was afraid that if chunks of it come off, it would get down on the fuel line, which if we suck from the top, shouldn't do that. So this will be good. We'll just bend up a line and come off and go right through the floor, or actually go this way through the floor of the truck bed with the fuel line. Oh, what's this? Son of a bee sting, look at that. Is this for 3/8? I bet it is. I bet it is. Let's see, here's a 3/8 freaking donger right here. Oh, hell yeah. All right, here we go. Here's what we'll do. I got this brass fitting, and we can take it, it's 3/8, so we can flare this, boop, put it in there like that, drop that in the tank. We will, I bet if I had a piece that was thick enough, we could almost sandwich it on a piece of steel that's about the right gap. Just sandwich it. And then I believe if I take another fitting, I can use this barbed end and thread a fitting onto here. Oh, this is going to be perfect. So we'll just glue this up. Plow truck, doesn't matter, not going on the road, doesn't have to be 100% safe. And then we'll just put a nipple on here and come off. So we'll just make a round plate and go in there, and these holes are staggered because the holes are mixed match. Did I weld anything on there? No, I just drilled and tapped. Maybe I welded it. No, that's a gasket. I just drilled and tapped it. So yeah, we'll make a little gasket, and then we'll just drop this guy in here. Boom. And let her eat off the bottom of the tank. Like a 1/4 inch or so from the bottom of the tank. That'll work great. I feel a lot better about this. Sucking out of the top of the tank will be a lot better. You're like saying, why don't you use this one? Well, this is just a vent. So this is the same type of fitting. It's just this threaded in with a pipe threading into this piece of aluminum. And it's just a vent. There's no line or nothing on it. So actually, if you rolled it over, gasoline would come out of it. You should have a rollover valve if you're going to do it in an actual car. You'd want to put a rollover valve, which they make them with a BB. So if the car goes upside down, it shuts off the fuel flow. But this tank was out in the back of the truck, and I wasn't really worried about it. If it was in the car, you would want to rethink your action. So if I cut this off and flare it, whoop, don't lose the screws, right about, that would just let her eat off the bottom of the tank. Right about, man. All right, now prepare to be amazed by this piece of engineering marvelty. I took a piece of steel that I got that used to be a piece of artwork and drilled it out with a template I made off the holes in the fuel tank. And then I've threaded this in, like I said, and it was a little loose fitting to the top of the steel. So I had some cork gasket maker. So now we got a cork gasket to kind of seal it-ish to the top of the tank. And it's pretty stiff. It didn't squish the cork out too much. I think it'll work. Guess what? It's going to be good enough for a plow truck. So let's drop her in the hole and see. Oh, it works perfect. Doesn't hit the bottom. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little... Let's put a little something on here. Just put a little bit right on the top of this reusable gasket, or gasket that we're reusing. Sure. Glue this guy right down. Like I said, this looks like it's been leaking, but I don't know if it's leaking under this paper gasket I made for it, or where it was leaking, or around the threads on the screws. Who knows? But we'll attempt to slow her down just a tiny little bit RTV. Sure. Perfect. Good enough for who it's for. Where's my rags? Got multiple rags everywhere. All right. We will do that. And then let's just go whoop, and drop this guy in here. Of course, now I can't see my holes from my screws, but look at that. I already test fit it, so I know the screw holes are good. And I must have just, like I said, I just must have just tapped this sheet metal. It's like 14 gauge. I think I bent this up on. I think I made it out of 4 pieces. The top and the front and the bottom of the edge, or no, actually it's one piece. So it's bent here and down, and then the bottom and the ends are another bend. Okay, so there's minimal weld seams. I made it out of 2 pieces and clamshelled them together. So there's minimal weld seams. There's no baffles in it. It was the first tank I built, and then I built another tank for my Model A coupe, and then, oh, I must have built a, what's the tanks in the, oh, it's got a Mustang tank in it now. But when I built my Mustang 2, or my Mustang, when I built my Model A coupe tank, not the Mustang tank, I put some baffles in it just to kind of cut the sloshing down. And this one's just a wide open box, but you can put baffles in them to help slow it down. And then we'll just take this guy and run him right down. Don't want to strip these screws out. And there's a lot of obstacles in the back of this truck to walk around. There we go. Look at that. Why is it so rocky? Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I would have had that tank way over here because of the way that it was, because of the cross member in the front here. So we'll just loop down, run the fuel line. Well, I got crazy with the drill and the hole saw. I punched a hole in the bed, brought my fuel line up through. I got a piece of line here, and we got the rubber hose hooked to the top of the tank, and that should tie in. I used a piece of 5/16, not 3/8, 5/16 line, and then got a fuel injection clamp on there. That'll mount, and then it'll go to the top of the tank. I drilled a hole into the cross member for that plug to fit down in, so I can set the tank flat on the feet of the tank. Got 2 holes drilled here. 2 holes drilled over there. That one went into the cross member, so I'm just going to put 1 bolt over there, but I can reach in the end of the cross member over here and bolt this down, so 2 bolts over here. Ain't going to go nowhere. And then we'll stab her down, and then I'll run a new 5/16 fuel line all the way across the bottom of the cab to the frame, and then up. I'll probably hang a fuel filter back here or put it up by the pump somewhere. Actually, probably don't want to suck through the fuel filter, so I'll probably put it between the pump and the engine. That would make more sense. So I got a piece of hose down this metal line here for connection. I'll just hook it up and run. I think I got enough 5/16 nickel copper alloy line over there to run up to the front, and we'll have brand new fuel system. kind of get it where it's got to go. I gotta find the hole for the, oops, I'm over too far. I should drop into, nope. Come on now. What in the world is going on here? Ouch. Had my finger under it when it dropped down in the hole. There we go. Get our bolts here. Boom. Get in there. That'll work. Oops, hold on a minute. I'm out of, somehow, oh shoot. You tell me that one hole is off. How can that be now? Can't have nothing nice. I'm dying here. I gotta call it quits. I'm struggling. It's the struggle bus. I must have moved for that one. I'll start this one here. Get you in there. Why is that? There we go. The tank must have moved around when I was drilling that. All right, that guy's in there. How about this guy? Does that line up? That one lines up. Pretty much. Boom. Oh, here's our line. Oh, that's going to be perfect. Actually, do I need to jam that on there? Where'd the clamp go? Oh, shoot. It's over there on the thing. I can put that on. Yeah, I can get that on. Okay. Oh, shoot. I'm half a hole off. Wait, the drill's still here. The magic of the drill. Now, will it fit in here to re-drill the hole the rest of the way? Yes, it will. Here we go. Without wrecking everything. Got him. Just need to clearance it just a little bit. That's what flat washers are for. Clearance a hole, then you add a flat washer. Now, why won't you get in there? Come on. Now, it looks like the tank's sitting on the floor. It's actually up just a little bit because the feet are welded below the tank, so there's a little bit of clearance under there. Underneath the tank. Yeah, I'm just going to run one bolt in this side. There, that'll bolt down perfect. We'll take the zip screw gun, like I said, which I don't have handy, but I'll loop this guy around on itself and zip them in over here or up in here or something. All right, it's the next night here. I got the radiator out of the truck, as you can see, and it was leaking down here. The drain plug was rusted and ripped off, and it's pretty rough, pretty junk. So I'll show you the aluminum one in a minute, but I wanted to get this done first before I put the plow frame back on because it's just easier to work on the front of the truck. So we got it out. You can see the core support's all rotted out. The bottom, that doesn't matter. The front end is like hanging on, and it's good enough. But at some point, they moved the mounts from outboard out here to inboard on the 80 trucks, and I don't know if they did in 79 or what they did, but they moved the mounts inboard for some reason. But they left the original mounts out here on the outside of the frame. I don't know why they did that. Seems like it would have been better to have it wider than narrower, but I'm not the engineer. So we've got an aluminum radiator from Scamazon, and I was just trying it out to make sure everything fits. I got the fan shroud here is going to fit fine. It bolts on. They got some nut certs. It's a nice welded radiator. It's like made in China. I don't even know who makes it. Luxarad aluminum radiator. I bought it on Amazon. It was one of the cheapest ones I could find. It was like 190 bucks, but I've had good luck with welded aluminum radiators, even cheap ones. And this is a 3-row unit, and it should cool fine, really fine. Not that this truck's going to overheat or go on the road where it's going to overheat, but you can never have too much radiator. So it looks like a nice unit. It's got the fittings for the transmission cooler, which I'm going to run with AN lines. So I've got some adapters coming for that. It's got the welded top piece here, and all welded together. It looks good. I just want to get a real quick measurement on make sure the bolt holes are the same width, which I mean, it looks like they are. The fan shroud fit on it, but just want to eyeball it real quick. That looks like about 29 and a half. Looks like it's got a whole crap ton of holes here. 29, yep, and a quarter, so close enough. So the lower bolt bolts on here, which it looks like it, yep, perfect. So, you know me, what's the first thing you do with your aluminum radiator? That's right, you paint it black, because aluminum radiators don't need to be seen through the grill of your old style vehicle. I don't care what anybody says, the only reason these aren't painted from the factory in new cars and whatever is because these copper radiators would corrode without being painted, so that's why those are painted. These aluminum radiators don't corrode nearly as fast as brass and copper radiators, so the factories save the money by not painting them black because there's no reason to paint them black. That doesn't mean that you can't paint it black, and it's not going to affect cooling or anything. I've done this for 20 years. Every single aluminum radiator I've ever put in anything, I paint it black because nothing is worse than seeing an aluminum radiator through the grill of a vehicle that never had an aluminum radiator in it. I can't stress how terrible it looks to look through a grill of an old car that would have a black radiator and see an aluminum radiator. This isn't a Honda Civic. This isn't a freaking Chevy Cavalier. It doesn't get a shiny aluminum radiator. End of story. So that's why old Derek's Black's going to paint her black right now. Now, with something nicer, I would scuff it up a little bit. For this truck, I don't care. I'm just going to, oh, I forgot this doesn't like the, I'm just going to blow it. Oh, it's kind of fisheyeing a little bit. I got to stand this up, I think. The, for whatever reason, the, what do you call it, doesn't like the spray looking downhill. So we're going to paint the entire thingamajig here and this side of the tank, anything that can be seen from the front. And I don't want to get paint on the truck. I do care about that. So let's go ahead and, oops. This will keep it from corroding steel to steel, but we're going to paint this sucker black on the front because you don't want to see an aluminum radiator behind the grill of your not aluminum radiator vehicle. That's the #1 rule of building cars. Paint the aluminum radiator black on the front side so you can't see it from the grill side. I should make a whole What You Talking About Wednesday just talking about radiators and how black is where it's at. Now this, like I said, if this is something nice, I would have taken time to mask it off nice and do it all right. For this truck, it doesn't matter. I just want to see it black through the grill. That's the only reason why. And guess what? It ain't gonna corrode painted black now. Now on the inside, I did this same thing on my brown Dodge. It runs perfectly fine. On the inside, I'll leave it bare aluminum because it doesn't matter. You open the hood, you can tell that's a welded aluminum radiator because the way that it is. So we're not going to worry about the inside. I just want to paint it black where it's going to be showing. And that looks fine. I'll let her set up. I'll throw a little bit more on there. You want to hit it at 2 different angles to kind of cover the fins, but that looks like $1 million already. That'll go right in the truck. Nobody will ever know that's got aluminum radiator in it looking through the grill. Pro tip, quick speed shop, put it in the book. All right, let's put the radiator in. It's dry, here we go. Got the fan shroud in place because that's what you got to do because you can't get it in. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. It should drop right on the bolts. What am I hitting? I'm hitting something. Oh, look at that. Ain't that a thing? Yep. Well, now where did the... I can't see. Where's my light? Lost my light. Uh-oh. Where's my light at? Now, where did the top bolts go? Right there? I guess. Sure. I sprayed a little fluid film on the core support pieces here just to protect the aluminum. And it's going to work out. Yeah, I guess that's the bolts. So let's see. Here's the bolts here. The one is nasty. I wonder if I could find, are these, somebody put the wrong bolt into one because the head's, is it metric? That looks like a, I think these are 1/4 20s. Let's see if we can put some stainless steel 1/4 20s maybe. Make it nice. Since I happen to have 2 in stock. Unfortunately, I don't have any stainless washers. But that's okay. We'll use non-stainless washers. Let me try to ramrod it into my tool. I guess it's going. Oh yeah, she's going. There's ramrod her right in there, it's fine. Nice stainless steel 1/4 20 bolts. This truck deserves it. Where is the other hole? I need to get one of those, what do you call them? Lights that, like, bar lights that hangs on the hood or something. That's almost going to line up. Uh-oh, it's tight. It's off just a hair, but I think we can get it started. There we go, looks like it's started. It's going in. Now, how's everything else look? It looks good. It's not hitting the frame or nothing. That's good. I'm reusing the original lower bolts just because. There we go. Nice. Now there's 4 1/4 20 bolts that will hold the fan shroud on here because they got nut certs, which I showed you a minute ago. So I'm going to put stainless steel bolts in there, but look at that. Nice aluminum radiator. We got new hoses that came with the truck, so that should be good. We'll jam the hoses back on, and we're going to have to do some tranny lines, which I have. Hopefully they came in, but this looks mint. And how does it look? This is why we did it. This is why we painted it. Look at that. Behind the grill, it looks like a factory radiator. There's no aluminum shining back here. It's black like it's supposed to be, and it looks perfect. That looks great. I could have left the tank unpainted, but it doesn't matter. And then down there you can see the lower tank a little bit maybe, but that's why you paint your aluminum radiator black, because that looks 100% factory. Once you open the hood, it's obvious it's an aftermarket radiator because of square tanks and all that stuff, so there's no reason to paint the back of it unless you want to paint the whole thing black. You can buy high-dollar aluminum radiators that mimic factory tanks and stuff. They're very expensive, like $1,000. This is a cheapo, but I don't care what it looks like under the hood. I just care what it looks like behind the grill. Get the radiators in. They lied to me, or I lied to myself. These nut certs are metric, so I had to go on my use metric bolt bin, which I don't buy metric hardware because who would want to use metric hardware? So these are all the bolts I've saved over the years out of metric nonsense. And I found 4 Ford body bolt sheet metal screws out of my old Ford trucks that worked metric. So I got the fan shroud on, I got the hoses on. I figured while I'm here, I might as well replace the heater hoses. And we got this guy here. This is your blend valve thingamajig or heater shutoff for the heater, which I'll need for heat. I think on my brown truck, I just eliminated it because it was rusty junk, and I just let the water circulate through the heater core all the time. And I just left the cable hanging out. This one I'm going to cut out here in a second, see if I can get to operate. If it's stuck in open mode, that'd be fine. Actually, we can look at the controls and see what the controls say. Let's look at the controls, shall we? What do we got? It's stuck in cold mode. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it's got to go to heat. Heat. That's how heat works. How a defrost. Yep. But this is the one I think this lower one. Oh, that's the heat control. She's locked right up. Oops. So we got to get our defrost working, but that heat controller, I'm not going to care. On the problem is these hoses are 2 different sizes. The front hose is 5/8 and the rear is 3/4. And I don't know if I got an adapter. I know I use an adapter on my brown truck. But I'll cut these hoses off. Look, they also got the original factory clamps on them there. There's wire clamps. I'm going to put new heater hoses on here because they're old and nasty. This one's all kinked over. Might as well put new hoses on it while we're here. All right, I jumped ahead a little bit. As you can see, bam, brand new carburetor. It's a Thunder Mingo. Energy, high quality, boom. Yep, Scamazon right from China. I think it was like $67 or something like that. But guess what? I didn't really have a good 2-barrel BBD that didn't have like throttle shaft leaks and everything else. So I'll gamble. I run a Chinese carburetor on my AMC motor in my Studebaker, which has got several thousand miles on it all over the place. So I gambled again for $67. You really can't go wrong, I guess, for gambling. But I've got it all hooked back up. Even the electric over heat choke there. Watch this. If I hit the throttle, boom, choke works. So that's good. I was able to hook all the factory linkage up for the kick down and stuff over here now and put it all back together like it's supposed to. So when you get on the throttle, it kicks the 727 down, so that's good. Everything's hooked up. I shortened my fuel line and made it permanent. Got a Fram filter here, and the fuel pump has been replaced not too long ago, in quotation marks, from when the truck got stuffed in the field. So hopefully that's good. It was running on before, and I'm just going to run a new fuel line out back and hook up the tank from earlier. But this video is going to be kind of too long, so I jumped ahead a little bit. But let's go back and talk about the heater lines here. Somebody had been in here and messed around and did the wrong lines. I thought they were 5/8 and 3/4. So you saw me in the time lapse, I cut a couple lines and had to redo it. The intake line coming off here to this heater valve is actually 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch fitting, and then it goes to 5/8 to the heater core, and then it's 5/8 continuous off the bottom. I got rid of that plastic flushing thing. I don't need that. Unfortunately, their heater valve works here. I got it freed up, so you pull it back, that's heat. You put it forward, that's closed, so not circulating heat, so I'm gonna leave it open. Unfortunately, the cable must be seized somewhere, and I pushed the lever in the dash, and it actually bent the cable under the dash. So that's kind of a bummer, but I can just come out here and run it under the hood. I'll probably just leave it on all the time here. So the cable is still there, just it's not gonna work in the dash, but manually it works fine. So we'll leave that guy open. So we got all brand new heater core lines. There was coolant in the heater core, so obviously the heater core is not leaking into the truck because I haven't seen any evidence of that, which is cool. And I pulled the heater blower out, and that was clean as well, no mouse nest, so that's awesome. I just got to re-terminate this line here, then hook the power for the heater motor back up. Hopefully it's good. I don't know why that wire could have got chewed off, or I don't know why it's cut off, but anyways. We should be good there. This truck did run, but one thing I want to do is I want to put plugs and wires on it and a cap and rotor, just because the wires look pretty nasty. They could be original, I'm not sure. And the plugs look in decent shape, judging from the amount of rust and stuff on the outside, but I got 8 new plugs and a set of plug wires and a cap and rotor, so might as well tune up the ignition. And I just got to run a new PCV valve, vacuum line from the PCV valve around to the back of the carburetor. That one that was on there is a little too short, so it's like 3/8 hose. I hooked the vacuum advance up the ported vacuum here, and that line looks okay. All the other ports and stuff, I'm not going to get it running in this video. We'll drive it later. It's also still empty on coolant right now. I'm going to go ahead and hook the tranny lines and stuff up. I guess I could fill it back up with coolant because I replaced all this stuff, but the only hose that didn't get replaced, obviously you can see there's stickers on these. These are replaced probably right before it got junked. The water pump to intake hose looks pretty nasty, and there's some rust and stuff under that factory clamp. That's probably original piece because it's got factory blue paint on it. Obviously somebody's replaced a water pump at some point because that's bare aluminum, so that would have been blue as well. So it's had a water pump, which doesn't wobble, but I don't want to mess with that hose because I don't have any way to replace it without buying an actual hose, and I didn't. So I'm just going to leave it. If it starts leaking, I'll change it later. But other than that, everything looks good. This should be, pretty much good under the hood. And one thing I do need to do is the wiper transmission is all apart, but I have new bushings for it. They're always plastic bushings and they break. I ordered sets of bushings so I can put the linkage for the wipers back together at some point as well. So they will hopefully function. And I also scored a battery cable with some of my Rock Auto stuff that's coming for the Dodge Diplomat out in the driveway. But I bought a battery cable, so I got the positive cable on there now so I can put the battery back in it. So we should be able to run and drive this thing now. We've got new brakes. We'll have a new ignition system, new carburetor, new radiator, hoses, new fuel system. Everything should be good. The truck should run and drive very easily now. But we've got some more to work on in the shop here. We've got put the plow on, set it down. I got another video I'm going to start here in a minute where I'm going to start putting the plow setup together, putting the wiring for the plow into the truck, hooking up the controls. I have all that stuff to go with it. So I'll get the plow functional. I want to build some bumpers for the truck. I got some steel the other day. My buddy Jordan picked me up a piece of steel so I can build a bumper for the back of the truck, and I'll probably make one for the front as well. And then I got a back window protector and light rack mount I want to make for it which I have a piece that's already built out in the back. I think we're going to repurpose that. And then it's probably time to set it down and fire it up, and I'm going to check the fluids. I got to change the oil. I'm going to check the differentials. I have to put the transmission lines on it yet. The transmission is still continuing to leak, which is either a pan gasket or maybe the shifter linkage, O-rings. Hopefully it's not there because you got to take the valve body out to fix that. So we'll see how that goes. But that is continuing to leak on the floor under the truck. But I'm not going to make it perfect. It's going to be as what it is. If it leaks just a tiny little bit, that's fine. But we're in a home stretch, I think, getting this thing ready to get out of here, because we've been putting a lot of time in this thing. I want to freaking fire it up and drive it around and see how it works. Like, everything's brand new pretty much now for a truck that's just going to putter around in the yard. It's got a lot of new parts on it. So I think I'm going to hang it up for this video. I'm going to put the plugs and plug wires and cap and rotor on it just off camera here real fast, and hook up the fuel line to the fuel between the fuel pump and the fuel tank. Other than that, I think that's going to be good for now. Like I said, next time we'll put the grill back in, we'll put the wiring harness on, we'll put the plow frame on. I've got all the parts for that, and then be able to put the wheels back on it, set it down. And then we should be making noise and having fun of this thing, getting it out of the shop here. It's almost springtime, so I guess we missed the plow window. Never say never, could snow again, but I did take the plow off the brown Dodge, so I probably cursed myself with snow because of winter action. But we'll get this guy ready for action for, I guess, next year. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I love the black Dodge. It's coming together. And now we got a white Dodge out in the driveway, the Dodge Diplomat. If you haven't seen that, go watch the rescue video that involved the brown Dodge truck and Ted and I in mud. But now we got a Dodge Diplomat police car out there, another 318 weed burner to work on. So we're getting practice on this 318 to work on that 318. It's Mopar City around here. All the cars are Mopar all of a sudden. We'll see you guys next time at the Quick Speed Shop.